back to the Minorities Report. I'm Chris,
I'm corrupt.
and sorry we've been late. The one we would have released last week got corrupted. The other times we probably just were too busy or we're watching shit to talk about in the podcast. So
Yeah.
we're back. But to be fair, you never made promises this was a weekly series. You've got no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah, so real talk time, real talk. That sounds so old saying that. But real talk. We're not going to be because of our schedules, this won't be weekly. It'll be what is it?
Yeah.
Semi weekly probably.
It will be whenever we can release one.
Yeah.
That's it.
It'll be whatever we can release one. So unfortunately, what?
Which is for now seems to be weekly. This week is very rare for me that I'm so busy working.
Okay.
So
So it will be kind of semi-weekly for the most part.
yes.
All right. Because even I wasn't completely sure about your schedule.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, it has been kind of rare that you haven't been around at all. So,
Yeah.
all right. Hopefully, this is kind of a rare week, and we can get back to at least weekly uploads. Because I like being able to. I like having a little audience that just looks forward to listening to us talk about random pop culture shit.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
So you want to talk about based Nick Spencer?
Let's talk about Bass
Getting
Nick Spencer.
Yes. So for those who don't know, in at time of recording, ASM number, you think it's either 73 or 74
Yeah.
came out. It's part of the tie-ins to the Sinister War, Spencer's last big story before he leaves Amazing Spider-Man, and he decided to go all out. He's retconned probably the second most notorious Spider-Man story. The first being obviously Nerd Wander's very favorite story, One More Day. Isn't that right, Nerd?
Yes, it is.
I know you listen.
Yeah.
And you just love that story.
Yes,
So
she does.
everyone, make sure you let Nerd know that she definitely loves One More Day.
Exactly, and that's her favorite Spider-Man story ever.
Yeah. Which then was continued with her favorite writer, Slot.
Exactly. He will be missed.
Never forget he.
Exactly, never forget.
I mean, he's still at Marvel somehow. Yeah, he's just not on Spider-Man.
He's on, what is he on, Silver Surfer now?
No, it was doing
Fantastic
that
Four?
while Spider-Man was going on, and then it got cancelled because he can't fucking write two series at the same time.
So is he in,
He's on Fantastic Four.
Okay, fantastic. Why would
Still
you
on
put,
that somehow.
why would you put Dan fucking Slott on a family book?
I know exactly. I honestly still wonder how he has a job. Given remember that whole Marvel documentary and all of Slot's part were just saying were just everyone saying that he's late with everything, all of his scripts, and they tried to do a funny joke that's oh, he just spends all this time on Twitter, but no, there's people there that just like don't like the fact that Slot is always so late with everything. They have to wait for him in order to do anything.
Just think of how much of an inconvenience he is to the people who have to edit.
Oh, he's a
his
huge
shit.
inconvenience. I think one of them was I think it was on a holiday or something. He had to wait for Slot to turn in the scripts so he can start editing or start the art or whatever. It's that sucks.
Dan
But anyway,
Slott
yes,
is such an inconsiderate pig.
He is. But speaking of someone who actually can handle Spider-Man well, Nick Spencer decided to retcon the second most notorious and infamous Spider-Man story, Sin's Past. And for those who don't know what Sin's Past is, it's a story where Peter meets Gabriel and Sarah Stacy, Gwen Stacy's children. You would assume, okay, well, since they dated, they're Peter's children. No, it revealed that sometime before she died, she fucked Norman Osborn. So they're Norman's kids. But with the most recent ASM, it turns out that was a lie. Norman finds out from the AI left by his son Harry that the entirety of Sin's past was a massive fucking gotcha. Harry, in, Harry faked everything to fuck with his father. So he had Mysterio try use his abilities to convince Norman, Gwen, and then also to an extent MJ that this thing happened, that Norman and Gwen had sex and had children. The children weren't even like real children; they were clones
Yeah.
created by Mendel Strom under Harry's supervision. Um, so none of that happened, and the clones were because they're clones, they degrade over time. Harry just had Strom make more and more and more, um, and the last one left, a clone of Sarah, uh, is Kindred's body. Because they confirmed that Kindred is the original Harry, the one who died. And then there's another Harry who reveals that he knows that he's a clone. So yeah, based Spencer getting rid of Sin's past, saying that it was a massive fuck you from Harry.
It's just a
I'm
bunch.
okay with that. Good.
Like, wasn't it also? Wasn't Harry also alluded to being like a voice in the shadows for a while now?
Kind of, yeah. With like manipulating things to an event. Considering how technically, if you're going to go with chronological time, um, considering that's the whole Norman Gwen fucking was before she died, like he's Harry's been doing this for ages, like for years, setting this up. Like he set that whole thing up and then had it continue even after he died. Like he's the real master planner, not Norman.
Pretty much. Like, yeah, if he set all that shit up.
Yeah. So I'm happy with that. And I saw a couple of people talking about it on Twitter. She's like, it's weird how like with like comic books when there's like a notorious storyline or action or whatever, sometime later they would like go back to try and like fix it, realizing okay, people don't like this. Let's fix this to a degree. But like since past, like no one did anything with it until now. Like they just left that to happen. Kind of just like, oh Norman fucked Peter's girlfriend and also had an ulterior motive for going after Gwen. Like that led to her death. Like okay, like why did no one try to like fix this like ages ago? It was just kind of left there. But like no, it's fixed now. Good. It's been a really interesting year with comic books, like
Yeah.
notorious storylines getting fixed. Like Heroes in Crisis, they retconned that Wally wasn't the one that killed them.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's Infinite. I don't know. I think it's either no, it's in Flash because he's the main lead of the Flash comics now
Yeah.
because Barry is off doing multiverse Justice League stuff. Um, so they retconned it. It was revealed that it was actually Savitar.
Ah, okay.
Savitar was the one that killed them. Yeah,
So
to get
Wally's not
revenge
a,
against Wally.
okay. So Wally's not a fucking mass murderer now.
Oh, yeah. So it's really interesting that like this year, two notorious storylines were retconned. I mean, say what you will about retcons, but I'm fucking happy with these ones. Like Wally isn't a massive fuck up anymore, and Sin's past is gone.
Like, holy shit.
But yeah, we'll see. Now, if Spencer can get rid of one more day, and then I think he's ended his run on a good note, on a great note. As we talked
I
about it
think
before.
so.
It's definitely leading up to it, considering the whole Doctor Strange like realizing Mephisto did something to Peter.
So
He
we
wants to
might
know
have
what
a
it
one more.
was.
So we might have one more day reverted, reversed.
Yeah, somehow. Although I feel like considering like he only has one issue left, I don't know how you could do that in one issue. Given how like how comics are structured nowadays. And, you know, you could probably do it like back in the day when like a single story was in one comic, but like nowadays, and considering like how big of a deal One More Day is to Spider-Man, like I don't know if you could wrap it up in one comic. We'll just have to see how Sinister War ends.
Oh my god! Like, what's Sinister War? Because I'm not as up to date with ASM.
Oh, Sinister War is essentially Kindred manipulating every Spider-Man rogue or villain to try and kill
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man.
because he implanted parasites into their brains, right?
Yeah, the centipedes into their heads, giving all of them a chance to try and kill Spider-Man, and whoever succeeds gets to be his essentially his right-hand man.
So he got Spider-Man's entire rogues gallery then.
Well, probably not the entirety, but like a huge bunch of them. At least the ones that are alive. So you have like the Sinister Six, you have the Savage Six, which Vulture created. Then you got the spectacular foes, Boomerang's old gang, and then like a few others as well, like then Morlun and all that, Morlun, Sin Eater, like all of them,
Yeah.
like all of them trying to kill Spider-Man so they can survive.
I see it. So it's basically like a fight for survival for all of them. Then how is he? How is he faring against them anyway?
Oh well, eventually, Doc Ock was able to knock everyone out by using like a using something that Black Ant uses to like essentially like kill off all the centipedes that are inside of them.
Oh,
This dog is like, no one manipulates me. Even like you have like a touching moment where like Peter's like you did a good job, and he's like, no, I didn't do this for you. No one controls Doctor Octopus. No one tells me what to do. Something like that.
and they
So yeah, Doc
neutralize.
Ock was able to Yeah, Doc Ock was able to free everyone, knocking them all out. So like giving Spider-Man a chance to escape. He just tells them is like, yeah, like if you stay here, they're gonna still try and kill you. Remember,
Oh, that's true because
like
they
just because they no longer have uh,
Cinemy.
a serious motive. They're still your rogues gallery. They don't like you.
Yeah, they still might try to kill you.
Yeah. But yes, that is Spencer getting rid of a notorious storyline and Sinister War. We'll see how that goes because there's still, I think, 1, 2 issues left of Sinister War. So we'll see how it all ends. It's reaching its finish.
Like and I know you. You know what? Are you gonna miss Spencer if he goes to Substack?
Uh, Kinda yeah. I've been liking him on ASM because the current ASM is gonna have like 3 writers, and that's just a clusterfuck.
Do we know who the three writers are gonna be?
Shit. Let me have a look. Volume. I'll just have to double check. Okay, Spencer's run is 2018 onwards. So it will be, if I can get to it. Alright, certainly said. Wait, okay. Zeb Wells is one of them. Uh, It's just saying Zeb Wells for some reason. I thought there was... Oh, Kelly Thompson.
Uh,
Uh, that's another one. Kelly Thompson is so-so. I think it just depends on who she's writing.
yeah.
She's good on, like... She was good on Mr. and Mrs. X. Like, Jed McKay's the other one. I think that's at least the three that we know of. Oh no, Cody Ziegler.
Who's Cody Ziegler?
I've never heard of that person before. They have like almost a different writer almost every issue. I mean, I guess so. As long as they're not all on like the same one,
And,
like three writers on like a single issue.
yeah, because
that can get too much.
it's gonna have
I
like.
mean, look what happened with Uncanny X-Men before the whole like Age of X-Men and like the House and Powers of X stories.
Like, I one thing I am kind of interested. I am kind of wondering if the problem is that like when you have one writer, you have one voice, right? And
Yeah.
you have one coherent kind of narrative. With multiple writers, you get like three different voices and three different directions in which they want to take the story. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried about that.
Yeah. And then also Ben Riley's Spider-Man again. Apparently Peter's taking a break or something.
Oh yeah, don't they know that doesn't everyone know that he's Spider-Man now? Like he works for an organization or something, right?
Ben or
Ben
Peter?
Riley. Doesn't he work for an organization or something?
I can't remember the last thing he did.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah, Beyond Corporation. Yeah, he's working for the Beyond Corporation.
Remember, this is such a random thing that I thought about. Remember the racist robot cops from from Secret Empire that they did nothing with?
We don't talk about that era of Spencer.
Oh my god, he actually made like the most ridiculous. I remember he made like this ridiculous team of of villains. They were called like that. One of them was called Trigger Warning, and then she had like and she threw grenades at people.
Oh boy.
That was shit. And then she was like, and then one of them was like, because I think one of them like looked at one of the people who were fighting them and went, "You're an ally. You should be helping us." It's like that shit was amazing. Yeah. So, do you want to jump into the Predator, or you want to talk about some other stuff?
I don't know what else there is to talk about.
Hmm.
What has happened?
That's
Aside from
true.
us watching The Predator. No, I feel like we got a lot to talk about because it's such a fucking stupid film.
It was, man. Okay.
It was, yeah. So for those who don't know what The Predator is, it is the fourth film in the Predator franchise. Like most films nowadays that are sequels, they don't fucking put a number on it, so it's just The Predator, so it makes it kind of confusing. So there's Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and now The Predator, because despite the fact it's in the same universe, because they make references to at least the first two films, it's kind of like a soft reboot as well. Because they shit all over it. But the plot of The Predator, for those who haven't seen it, and I definitely don't recommend it, but the plot of it is that a predator escapes from another predator and crash lands on Earth. Army soldier guy is able to kind of stop it and take some of its gear. But the predator that was chasing him arrives on Earth and is hunting them for reasons, and
So,
I don't want to spoil. We'll talk about the fucking like what the super predator, whatever it is, like what it fucking wants, because
alright.
it's so dumb.
So
Um,
you know how he defeats the the you know how
The
the first
fugitive
Predator? Yeah,
predator.
the
The
fugitive predator.
fugitive.
You know how the hero or whatever defeats him. He basically like the helmet shoots the predator and knocks him out.
Yeah, its own helmet shoots at him, which is another thing. Why, for no reason at all, the predator for one does not have a helmet on, unless it's on its home world or it wants to be it's showing great respect to its foe,
Yeah,
to its prey. Predators never have their helmets on, helmets off. They always have them on. Two, why was
exactly.
his gauntlet off?
Like yeah, he just
Three, I know the reasons to both, so the plot can progress.
yes, like
Because military dude needed the helmet to send to his son, and he needed the gauntlet to poop out the fucking ball that allows him to go invisible.
pretty much. Like it makes no sense too because he has like this little ball that lets him go invisible at will,
Yeah,
and
and
he
he decides
swallows
to
it.
he swallows it.
It's like
Like he knows he's on, and the thing is he's on the run at the start of the film before he gets imprisoned. So then he gets transferred to be sent to the fucking secret organization, whatever.
yeah,
Like, and he has a thing he knows that can turn him invisible. Why would he swallow it? Wouldn't he just keep it on him so that he can escape?
exactly. Like
Oh, sorry. The plot. The plot.
oh yeah,
Plot
the
needs to happen.
plot demands that he like
This film is literally this happens because the plot happens. Ignore the fact that it doesn't fucking make sense.
exactly
But
because the plot
and also
demands
another thing that doesn't make sense. Because we discover later on the fugitive predator is there to help protect humanity from the super predator that's chasing it.
even though
Because
even
we'll get to the reasons. We'll get to the reasons why. But what is the first thing the fucking fugitive predator does once it crash lands? It fucking kills someone.
yeah
It kills them and does the iconic like hanging the corpse from like a tree. It's skinned alive. Like,
yeah this person
why
is
does it? If it's there to help humanity, why is the first thing it does is fucking do like an iconic predator thing and just kill a person?
it's like this, right? It's like if it's like if like I went up to an old woman who needed help like with her groceries and just punched her in the fucking face and just ran off with them and shit.
And then
Like
you ran off. And then when you were like arrested and like questioned, you would say, "Oh, I was there to help her with her
exactly.
groceries."
I was there to help
Like
her.
it makes no sense. And then also, when it's once it's fucking injured and blood spills onto it, like showing like it's showing itself, but it still has active camo.
Its
For
eyes.
some reason, you can still see its eyes, despite the fact that like
It would still
it's
be
still
invisible.
it would still be invisible. Yes. So straight off the bat, ignoring fucking predator law.
I mean, it
Um,
it also makes no sense too because it implies that like his eyes were closed while he was invisible, and if his eyes were
yeah,
closed while he was invisible, how did he see in the first fucking place?
yeah. And then we get to military guy's son, who is on the spectrum. I think it was either autism or Asperger's he had.
Yeah, he's high
Um,
functioning.
yes. And now, take note. This plays a very fucking important part in the film, and we're not kidding. Um, but yes, he's on the spectrum. He finds the package that was delivered from his father. Finds the predator helmet, and instantly is able to fucking work it.
Oh my fucking god.
Because autism allows him to. His autism allows him to understand predator technology and their language. We're not kidding. And
No, we're not.
while he's using it, he accidentally hacks into the super predator ship, which I also said, why the fuck does all predator technology connect to one another? Why is it universal? Because this was the fugitive predator's helmet.
Yeah.
So why would its helmet connect to the fucking super predator's ship? Why is their technology universal? That's faulty as hell.
Why is the technology connected like that? That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, and then even when the fugitive predator escapes from like the lab and like takes one of the like helmets that they have there,
Yeah.
like it connects to his previous helmet. Even though that helmet's been there for like out of who knows how long.
I mean, and if in case those of you, in case any of you watched in case any of you are wondering, yes, this is a sequel to Predator 1 and 2.
Yes. Very apparent that they are, considering Jake Busey is in it. His father, Gary Busey, was in the second film. And because, well, it's father and son, their characters are father and son.
Yeah.
His character is the son of Gary Busey's character in the second film. They have the same surname and everything. It's his son. I'm like, oh, really? That's just lazy. Um, but then we introduced to fucking what's her name? I'm not talking about the character's name, the actress's name. I was gonna say Olivia Wilde, but it's not Olivia Wilde. Um, Psylocke, because she was Psylocke in X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
Olivia Munn. That's her. Yes, Olivia Munn. We're introduced to her character. She's a super smart scientist or whatever. She's there to like uh, help like experiment on the fugitive predator because they discover for some reason it has human DNA as well.
Oh, and that's
So
a
they're
big
like,
kick
we
in
want
the-
to know it. We like you want to know if somebody fucked a predator. Like yeah, and like you have like fucking Terrence what was it Terrence? No, Sterling
Oh.
K. Brown. His character,
Hey,
like he was such a weird villain.
you,
Like, he was entertaining, but he was such a weird villain. He's
he
like,
was.
yeah, fuck yeah, bro. Like we call it the predator because it like hunts its prey. And it's like, no, that's not like sports. And it's like, no, that's not a predator. She's like, that's not a predator. That's like a game hunter. And it's like, yeah, we took a vote. Predator was awesome. Ain't that right? And everyone's like, yeah. And he's like, fuck yeah. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I love that.
I'm not kidding. That's what he says. He says, fuck yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, what is this like?
He's
What
like
is this
the
villain?
weirdest. He's the weirdest villain, but he's so fucking entertaining.
He's
Like
so
he
entertaining.
says, he like there's a scene. There's a scene where the predator is like being examined, and then he says that nigga got fucked up, and then like his number two henchman is like, sir, did you say something? He's like, no, nothing. I'm like. This was the most like legit. He is the most entertaining part of this fucking movie. Like just the villain is like so fucking entertaining, but everything else is so utter shit.
Yeah, and then army guy is on a bus because he was the one that encountered the fugitive predator, and
Yeah.
he's introduced to the lunatics, all these like former soldiers that are like dishonorable or something wrong with them. They all
Yeah.
have something. They're all something one's got Tourette's, like movie Tourette's.
Yeah,
But-
where all they can do is say the word fucking. Where all they can do is say
Pussy.
the word fucking pussy.
Yeah. Yeah. Thomas Jane's character, fucking Keegan Michael Key, with like some of the worst jokes. Although he only had one good joke, but I can't remember it because he had so many terrible jokes.
Like that's the thing about this movie is they throw jokes at the wall to see which one sticks. And the
Yeah.
humor is so inconsistent because some of it's good, but then some of it's really, really, really bad. Like that's the thing
Yeah.
about this movie is that like it's really inconsistent with the humor because some of the humor is really fucking good, some of the humor is really fucking bad.
And there's a lot of the bad. There's probably only
Yeah.
like a couple of times where the
Where the humor is
good.
like actually good.
Yeah, and we're introduced to them, and then the predator wakes up. It decides to kill people. Remember, it's here to help us.
Yes.
Um,
After it
doesn't-
skins some guy alive. Yes.
Yeah. doesn't kill Olivia Munn because obviously that's the only Predator law that they kept intact is that predators do not attack people that are unarmed because it's not good sport.
Yeah, it's not sportsmanlike to attack an unarmed person or a pregnant
Yeah,
person.
unarmed. Yeah, unarmed or pregnant person or dying person.
Yeah.
But he he finds out that his helmet is with autism kid, uh, and finds out that the super predator is almost here. He escapes. Stuff happens. Um,
I love that part. I
fucking
love that part. Stuff happens.
stuff happens.
Would you
Yeah,
like me to describe the
all,
stuff
all,
that happens?
not really. Like it's just shit happens. Scientist lady joins up with the lunatics.
Okay, wait. We should at
They
least
go to
wait. We have to describe what happens. I can do it if you want me to, but we got to describe what happens so people will know what the fuck we're talking about.
okay, go ahead.
All right. Okay. So so the predator wakes up after being I forgot how he wakes up, but the fugitive predator wakes up and starts and like the scientists don't have straps to keep him in place. They don't have any like manacles or shackles or anything like steel to keep him locked down because like that would because then you wouldn't have a movie if they did that. So
Yeah,
he wakes up and the scientists, these little weak ass fucking scientists, jump on top of this big fucking masculine looking fucking predator and he just throws them off. And then he just starts killing everybody. And the evil scientist dude, just like runs away with his fucking with his like henchmen.
yeah,
And then after killing everybody, right? He runs into Olivia Munn's character, but she's naked and is she naked or does she just have her shirt off?
she's naked because she has to go through
Oh yeah, she
decontamination.
was naked and unarmed, and he just looked at her and walked off because, like Chris said, predators don't kill unarmed enemies, or I'm sorry, they don't kill unarmed prey. It's unsportsmanlike, right?
Yeah,
So he walks off, and she, for some reason, one of the scientists says, "Don't let the fugitive predator escape." So
yeah. She
this
takes a fucking the trank gun.
she takes a train gun and tries to run off to the fucking predator. And it's the
Bro,
most ridiculous
just
shit.
this is a scientist. Like we get nothing else like really about her backstory. She's just a scientist.
She's a
Like
scientist and she's up here like jumping over rooftops and shit. What? Seriously, she's supposed to be a scientist. She's a fucking scientist. Yet she's like super athletic. She's jumping over rooftops. She jumped on top of a bus and she's trying to aim the trank gun at the predator that's running away, right? Because as soon as the predator escapes the factory, he jumps down and then runs off. And so the niggas in the bus are like driving after him and she's on top of the bus because what happened is like the main protagonist and the what did they call it, the loonies, they
yeah, the loonies.
the
Yeah,
loonies, they like trick the guards, beat them up and throw them out of the bus. And they drive the bus. They're driving the bus and she's on top of the bus and she tries to like shoot the predator, but get this shit. The bus stops. She shoots herself in the foot. Her foot is fucking asleep.
yeah.
And then she
So
tries.
yeah, and then in a very confusing scene, they just leave her there, and then a soldier comes to kill her because fucking Sterling K. Brown doesn't want any. Traeger, that's what his name was. His name is Traeger. Traeger doesn't want her alive. He's like kind of like no witnesses. So she's gonna get executed, but then they arrive on bikes, which they don't show how they got.
Oh, they got yeah.
This happens a lot in a film. They just suddenly have things, like fucking what's his name? Fucking Nebraska.
Yeah.
Like suicidal guy. Like he just suddenly has a cop car, and then also suddenly has a grenade launcher at some point. Like it's never shown how he got these things, but
So
you're just gonna have to accept it because plot.
what I think happened is that like a lot of this movie, there are a lot of parts of this movie that feel so disjointed and poorly
From
edited.
what I've heard, I think it was either poorly edited or there was reshoots apparently. Do you want to know what the original plan was
Was
for this
that?
film?
Was that?
So originally, they were going to discover like there's Area 51 and that there are good guy predators.
Oh.
They team up with the good guy predators to fight the super predators. I
Oh.
think there was actually like there was a photo released of like predators in a tank.
Oh, that sounds fucking dope.
To be honest, it's still to be honest, it still sounds dumb, but it sounds better than the shit that we
I
got.
mean, yeah, I mean, it does sound kind of dumb because, like, on one hand, like, predators are sportsmen. They're not interested, like, they aren't really good guys or bad guys. They're more or less just, like, sportsmen looking for a hunt. That's why they hunt xenomorphs, because xenomorphs are, like, are kind of the ultimate predator.
Yeah, the
Or,
ultimate prey. Yeah,
they're the ultimate prey, my bad. The ultimate prey.
yeah, but yeah. But yes, they bring her, they save her, they bring her back with them. Um, Autism Kid goes out because it's Halloween,
Oh,
which is like
this.
which is like the
Wait,
perfect setting
wait.
for like a predator
Chris,
film.
this is something random. This is so random, but I got, but this reminded me of, this conversation reminded me of it. Is there ever actually a movie where that has them hunting down xenomorphs, or is that mostly just comic shit and extra materials?
There was Paul W. Wes Anderson's Alien versus Predator, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Particularly the best. Then technically Alien versus Predator Requiem, but that was fucking garbage, so we don't talk about that either.
Okay, so but there haven't been any like what there haven't been any like real movies that showcase them actually hunting down predators. Then.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, you see them fighting, but not really. Essentially, kind of like hunting them down.
Because because I know that because I always found it kind of weird that like the predator was introduced but they never actually showed them, like hunting down xenomorphs. I mean, fighting them, sure, but not actually like actively hunting them down.
Yeah, and the closest you can kind of get is with um, Alien versus Predator Requiem, because the main predator in that one, um, comes to Earth to hunt down the pred alien, the alien born from a predator,
Yeah.
because it's an abomination, so that it has to be killed, and it's hunting that one. And then by extension, the xenomorphs it creates. So all the ones that were created from like facehuggers that were on like the same ship.
Okay. See, that sounds as terrible as that movie was. That's a lot more interesting than the Predators plot, which is just so fucking stupid.
Yeah. But yeah, going back, yeah, but yeah, like Halloween would like be a perfect like setting for like a predator film.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's just a person like on Halloween, like wearing a mask. It's just a really tall person, like big person. They could have done something cool with that, but no, you can't. But yeah, Autism Kid, he wears the predator helmet as a Halloween costume. Goes to one house to trick or treat. Nothing happens. He gets made fun of his bullies. The person in the house decides to throw something at him,
Yeah.
and the predator helmet, thinking that its
Being
user is
attacked.
being attacked, shoots the guy and it explodes the house. And
Like,
uh, oh, a big deal. A big thing we forgot about Autism Kid. He is sensitive to large sounds.
but he
It
has
hurts.
no reaction to anything.
But he has no reaction to a fucking explosion.
Like, seriously, or even people dying around him. It's just kind of like, well, I guess that happened.
Yeah, it's like, oops, sorry.
He has no reactions to anything. It's like when he sees a dead body next to him, he just goes. He just sort of looks at it as if, well, I guess the guy is dead. There's no like shock or anything. It's just, I guess that happened. Like this character,
I feel like they try to brush that under. Oh, he's autistic. He doesn't know. This is movie autism, just like it has this the Baxley character has essentially movie Tourette's, where it's not really Tourette's.
movie. Remember
Just
when
movie
he tried
movie
to,
autism.
Remember when he tried to arrange the fucking chess pieces like he saw them, but he got them wrong, and they
Yeah, he
tried
got
to.
them wrong. They tried to do. Oh, he's a savant.
Yeah, exactly. They tried
He's
to show
smart.
him as a fucking
There's
savant.
actually, if you actually look, if you pause, if you go back, if you pause and go back to the scene to see where every chess piece is at, when he goes to put them back in the scene afterwards, they're all actually in the wrong place.
That's the fun. It's the funniest
But
shit.
yes, they talk about the fugitive predator. Army dude needs to go back to find the stuff he mailed. Discovered that his son took him. Uh, he goes to the school because apparently, I don't know, bad shit happens. He just decides to go to school.
Actually,
Uh,
why did they go to the school? I don't remember why they went to the fucking school.
I don't know. But at the same time, the super predator has arrived. Uses his hunting dogs to track down. Um,
Oh my god.
which is weird because like I feel like it was the it was trying to it gave like the dogs something to smell, which I assumed was supposed to be from the fugitive predator, but
Yeah.
it tracked down
The
fucking
humans.
autism. Yeah.
Wait, I think it's okay. I think it's.
I don't think he had the mask.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
I don't
think
think
it
he had
is.
the mask at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because he had the mask and they were and like it had the scent. The mask has
Maybe,
that
I
scent.
guess.
I mean, that's all I can
I
really
guess so,
think
yeah.
about.
But yeah, um, hunting dogs find him. Army dude arrives in time. All the fucking loonies arrive in time. They kill one of them and then just lobotomize the other one.
Okay,
And
so
then
for people who are wondering, what do you mean lobotomize? Okay, so
literally just shoot it in the head.
yeah, they just shot it in the head and that lobotomized it somehow.
Yeah. So now it's just like
A normal
just
dog.
a dog.
Yeah, it's just a normal dog.
It's just a normal dog. And then the fugitive predator arrives. It wants its shit back. But then the super predator arrives and just kills it. It fights it and it punches its head in, caves its head in, and kills it.
It's the most anticlimactic way to kill off the fugitive predator is to just have him just killed. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And then you see like the super predator like grow armor inside of itself, and then Olivia Munn's character incorrectly says that it grew an exoskeleton. That's not what it is. If it's inside the body, it's an endoskeleton. You're a fucking scientist. You should know this.
Like you're a scientist, but what does that mean? What is science?
What is science? All I know how to do is chase aliens with a gun.
That's what I'm supposed to do, right?
That is my job as a scientist, is to chase an alien with a gun. But I don't know, some more things happen. Terrence Sterling K. Brown, Traeger, he finds out that autism kid can understand the language. It's like, hey, we need him to get into the Predator ship so we can, I don't know, fucking
What doesn't
get
make
all the fucking swag inside of it.
What-
Fuck yeah,
what
bros.
doesn't make any fucking sense is that like this little kid, right? He can understand he can understand not only an alien language, but he can also like perceive things as they perceive them. What I mean by that is that like so the way their technology works, right, is that like you'll see like they don't have like images of things. They have like words, right? Like text that you can't really understand. And he can actually, and that's how they see things. this little Negro can actually see things the way that a predator can, which makes absolutely no sense.
No, it doesn't. And so, kid gets kidnapped by Traeger to get into the ship. Um, they all go to try and rescue him, but then the super predator arrives, kills one of the loonies, and tells all the other ones, it's like, I'm getting ready to destroy the ship. Which, technically, okay, that's the second time that predator lore is actually correct. They don't want other species having their technology, so as a last resort they will destroy it. So
Yeah,
okay, two times they actually got predator lore right in this film that contradicts predator lore.
yeah,
um,
exactly.
Super Predator says he's going to destroy the ship, and he's like, I want the warrior McKenna, which is a misdirect. You think he's talking about Army Dude? No, he's talking about Autism Kid. Um,
Exactly.
and he goes to hunt them all down, so they're like, oh, we all have to team up to fight them. Literally, pretty much almost all except four characters, 4 to 5 characters die. Fucking Traeger accidentally kills himself in the most baffling scene. Because he has like the predator gun, shoulder gun on himself, and like it follows his movement. Which, okay, third time predator lore is correct when it comes to that. At least that technology, it's supposed to follow what the user is looking at. So okay, 3 times they got it right.
Yeah.
Um, so like scientist chick is just like, hey Traeger, and he looks at himself and then shoots himself for some reason. The thing is, like, it only shoots if it senses something that is like a danger to its like user,
Yeah.
which is
And
a threat.
yeah.
So was
Okay, wait.
Traeger
The main guy is named Traeger.
Traeger, yeah, black guy,
The black guy's
Sterling
named
K. Brown's
Traeger.
character,
Okay.
yeah. Like his like was Traeger a threat to himself?
It makes absolutely no sense. Like, so here's the scene, right? For people who are wondering what we're talking about. Okay, so Traeger.
They're all trying to lay a trap for the predator,
Yeah.
and it
Right.
looks like they've won.
And then, like, out of nowhere, Traeger looks to the side,
So the
and
scientist chick gets his attention.
yeah.
He's like, Traeger! And then he looks at her. And then the gun fires and shoots his head off.
No, I thought he, like, his body, like, explodes in half or something, doesn't it?
No, it just shoots his head off.
Like, was she trying to kill him, or what? Like, what was the point?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's such a what scene? Like, why? Why? Like, that was anticlimactic. He just accidentally kills himself.
Yeah, and he was, and I'm gonna be honest with you, he was the most likable character in the film.
Yeah,
He was.
despite how fucking outlandish his character was,
He
over
was.
the top he was, like, he was the only likable character. No one else was good.
Like, seriously, like he had the weirdest scenes. Like, he would just, it's like he would just out of nowhere, he would just say the most random shit. Like, what was it, like the Predator scene you mentioned where he's just like, yeah, well,
Fuck yeah.
we decided that Predator is fucking cooler, isn't it? Yeah! And everyone goes, yeah!
He's like, fuck yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that happened, but like everyone else except for some of the main characters, they all die. Super Predator kidnaps the kid to take back to his homeworld.
Okay.
Now we'll get into the biggest, like, what the
This-
fuck were they thinking when
Exactly,
they wrote this?
this is a big surprise.
So the reason why, because we mentioned it earlier, the fugitive predator had human DNA. Apparently, predators hunt so that they can gene splice the best traits of what they hunt into themselves, which makes no fucking sense.
It really
It just
doesn't.
contradicts the whole point of them just wanting to hunt the strongest thing. As for sport.
Yeah, that's what made them interesting characters anyway, is that, like, predators hunt for sport. That's why that's, and if you're able to like best them or kill one, the other predators will like retrieve the body and and show you respect as a fellow hunter. That's what makes the
Yeah.
predator so interesting.
They'll give you like essentially a trophy. In Predator 2, the Predator gives the main character like a gun from like the 18th century. He's like, take it. And then in Alien versus Predator, when the fucking chick is able to uh, kill the alien queen alongside when trying to help the predator, like the main fucking older predator like gives his fucking like spear to her as like you fought valiantly as like an equal to one of us, so
Yeah.
and you killed an alien, you killed a xenomorph queen, so take this.
Here, this is like for you because like you are truly worthy to like fight you are truly a worthy warrior, basically.
Yeah. But no, apparently they hunt to fucking gene splice themselves. And apparently they fucking love coming to Earth because it's just so hot. That's why they hunt humans, because they
So
just love the heat. They love the heat here. But
okay,
apparently because of global warming, they want the best traits from humans in order to survive a world that's been affected by global warming, which makes no fucking sense.
okay, wait.
If
So
global warming kills us, how is them
wait,
having our DNA
wait.
help them
Here,
live in a
wait,
world?
wait. It's stupider than that. It's stupider than that. So basically, they hunt like they want to gene splice us right before we get wiped out by climate change, because
Yeah.
climate change is going to kill all of us in a few years, according to this movie, right? So
Yes.
they want climate change to happen because they like the environment that climate change will create.
Yeah.
They're going to move in. So, like you said, knowing that like we're vulnerable to climate change, they still want to splice our DNA. But
Yes.
But then, if they like the heat, why would they want our DNA if that would totally fuck up their ability to survive the temperature that they like?
Who knows?
It makes absolutely no
Makes no
fucking
sense.
sense.
So, yeah. So apparently that's why they do the iconic take ripping out the spine and skull. Oh, they want the DNA from the spine and
Just
all that.
also,
And
oh, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, and then this comes to the reason why why the predator wants autism kid,
Oh god.
because he views kid's autism as the best fucking trait in existence, because his autism was able to understand predator technology, so it must be good.
It must be the next step in
He
human
he
evolution.
Oh yeah, they say that. Scientist chick says that. It's just like, oh, some say that autism is actually just, the next step in human evolution.
Let me
It's
get
like,
this fucking
how,
straight.
that's such a Hollywood thing.
Let me get
Like
this
the
fucking.
ro the fetishizing, the romanticization of like people that are on the spectrum.
Let me
Like
get this.
they think everyone is Rain Man.
Let me
They're
get
actually
this.
like
Let me
savants.
get this
Yeah.
shit straight. Let me get this shit straight. So, crippling. So like crippling social retardation is somehow an advantageous trait in a social species. Not to mention, there are degrees. Autism is a spectrum. There's low functioning autism and there's high functioning autism. There's a lot of people who have, like, low functioning autism is basically the shit you see with people who can't, like, with people who like drool on themselves and scream and shit. And it's like that's what you consider like the next step in human evolution. Seriously? Something as like chaotic as the spectrum of autism. And not only that, but even if you're a high functioning autistic person, you still have like a degree of you still have a degree of difficulties too, like being socially, like being unable to like interact with people socially. You don't read social cues very well. Like there's a whole lot of shit that comes with it. And this is
Yeah.
what they consider to be the next step in human evolution.
Yeah. So, the predator literally wants autism.
Yes,
It wants to weaponize autism.
that is literally that is literally a thing in this movie. That the
Yeah.
predator wants to weaponize autism.
Yeah. So, the military guy goes with like the two remaining people, minus the scientist chick, to go rescue his son. One of the guys dies. Suicidal guy sacrifices himself to uh, get the
Sure.
ship to crash. Then they fight the super predator. They're able to win by using its technology against it. Um, there's a pointless like kind of like reference to the first film where he goes like he's like, "What the fuck are you?" Like, and before it can say anything, she's just like, who fucking cares, and just shoots it anyway. And she's like, what, like,
One second.
or like
Hold on.
says like shut up.
That's it.
But yeah, like pointless like reference to the first film. It's like, what the fuck are you? Like, shut up, and then shoots it anyway. It's like, why ask that question?
What's the fucking point of even asking him if you were going to shoot him in the first fucking place?
Yeah. So
That is so
the
fucking
film,
pointless.
yeah, the film kind of ends like that. No, it doesn't. We get a post-credit scene or a mid-credit scene where they find out like what the fugitive predator ship jettisoned before it crashed, and they find inside the predator killer, a fucking Iron Man predator suit of armor that the fugitive predator wanted to give humanity,
So that I
even though
could fight
it was
so that I could fight off
purpose.
the predators. So
Yeah,
here's something that pissed me off. That really pissed me off about this whole shit with the predators. Right? They basically more or less turned them all into like these cheesy villains that just want to take over the world, and they're no longer like these like sort of mysterious space warriors that hunt, like that look for dangerous prey to hunt.
yeah,
Because like that's basically the motivation, the alleged motivation of the predators, because Traeger is the only real exposition we get as to what they are and what their purpose is that they know that climate change is going to kill us, so they're waiting for us to die so that their entire race can move onto our planet, can move into our planet, I should say.
yeah,
And I'm like, if that's true, then you've essentially taken you've not only you've retconned not only their motivations, but you've retconned their behavior as a species and made them just some lame galactic empire shit.
yeah,
It's like, bruh, really? That's what you're gonna do? Really, bruh? Really? That's disappointing, man.
yeah,
Because like I was always like, because like as much as I do kind of prefer the xenomorphs. I think they're cooler, but like the predators were like an interesting concept. They're a pretty cool concept, and they're an interesting and cool race. And like to have them just butchered by this movie is depressing, especially since like they seem to have very little understanding of the predators anyway and what makes them interesting or even work.
yeah.
It's like their only
Uh,
real understanding of the predator seems to be like very shallow.
yeah.
So what was? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, that was aside from the fucking next film coming up, where it's like, oh, it's we have a female protagonist, yay! she's actually like Native American. He's gonna
Yay!
prove that she's just as good as the men.
Oh my god, that
Like
makes no
that
sense.
Predator film, like if that even is coming out, yeah.
That's gonna be worse.
And if it didn't come out and we never got another Predator film, like The Predator would be the last Predator film we ever got. That's sad.
That would be because like the Predator is terrible, man. It
It
is
was,
not a good movie.
it is god awful.
And not only is it god awful, but it's treated as not only is it god awful, but like there are genuinely decent parts of it, but those decent parts are just like weighed down by the movie itself, by like terrible humor, like shitty art, like a shitty plot line, terrible like contradictions of the lore. Like there's like a lot of problems with this movie that honestly, in my opinion, probably could be fixed if you had, like could honestly probably be fixed if it had a better script and they like and we like didn't have so much cut content, because I feel like a lot of the content that because I feel like there was a lot more content that was cut that would have made this movie so much easier to understand if it wasn't like removed from if we could actually if it wasn't removed from the script and replaced by what we got, which was absolute shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just absolute dog shit. Anyway, so Chris, what would you call this breathtaking brave movie? What kind of score would you give this movie?
Fucking 0 out of 10.
Are you serious? Dude, that's lower than Black Widow.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh no. No, I'll give it a 1 out of 10.
Actually, okay, you can't give everything 1 out of 10.
It is a fucking 1 out of 10 film. Aside from like Traeger at some parts, like it was a fucking god awful film. And I saw it already, so seeing it a second time, I was just reminded of how fucking terrible it was. It is honestly bad. It's as bad as Black Widow, but for different reasons.
Like, whereas Black Widow was like, yeah, I mean, I
Well,
kind of agree. Whereas
Black Widow was just boring.
yeah, Black Widow was really boring. Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude, do you believe that I would not stop? That I have not stopped? That I have not shut up about complaining about Black Widow?
I don't
Like,
blame you.
like,
It's
dude,
boring as hell.
it was such a boring fucking movie, and like, remember that big ass fucking tank that just comes out of nowhere and starts plowing down everybody? Like, how do you even do like? How do you have a scene where you have a bunch of where you have like a tank just plowing down people in a city, and these are supposed to be like an elite organization of like shadowy assassins who operate behind the scenes and like operate in stealth and shadow and do everything they can to keep from being discovered by anyone.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do this? Also, I looked at Also, I looked at a Mauler review, which was like 4 hours fucking long, but it was really fucking good. And basically, he kind of broke it down. He was just like, "Why didn't you just mind control? Like, why didn't you just use the mind control on like Natasha from the beginning? Why not mind control Red Guardian? He has like superhuman strength. He could be like the perfect enforcer." Like, and like why only restrict your mind control to women? I mean, like clearly you don't like women, so or I guess that's his motivation since he's like Harvey Weinstein or something. So why not just have him control like why not just control more people or brainwash more people? You have like this perfect mind control technology. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just like everything about that movie just made no fucking sense. And for people who are like, oh well, you don't like Black Widow because it's about women and something like that, eat my dick. There you go. Eat a dick. Eat a fucking dick. Like no one believes that. No one's like being misogynistic about Black Widow. It just was a shitty movie. Like this was a shitty movie. I'm gonna give it a 3 because I like Traeger. Well, no, I'm gonna give it a 2. I like Traeger and some of the parts about it were, and it had like some funny parts to it. Everything else was like really awful. You would think in a movie like this we'd at least get cool, like we'd get like good fight scenes. We didn't really get any good fight scenes. Most of it was
No.
just kind of boring gun battles where like they would shoot at something and something would shoot at them, or the predator would do something crazy and they would try to shoot at the predator but he would get away, or he would just kill them. It was just not a good movie. Not really.
No.
It's just bad on so many levels. And you can tell like whoever was in charge of the script like wanted to do more with it, but for some reason I guess this is what we got. And I guess that's it for me. I'm pretty much done.
Yeah.
So, what else? You want to talk about anything else, Mr. Chris?
I don't know. I don't think there was anything else.
Oh, you want to talk about what happened with Shang-Chi, the lead or whatever?
I mean, if you want to.
Oh, what is it? What is his name? Simu Liu or whatever?
Simu Liu, yeah.
Simu Liu.
So, Shang-Chi, yeah, Shang-Chi has come out. It's done some numbers, but it's only been what? Hasn't even been a week yet.
Yeah,
So,
it hasn't been a week yet, so we don't know what it will be like next
so
week.
they're not really celebrating a lot of anything. But Simu Liu, whatever. He put up like I think it was like either like an Instagram post or a Twitter post because it was discovered he used to do stock photos.
Yeah.
He posted one of himself like which shows himself laughing, and she's like me laughing at people who said that like Shang-Chi would flop, and then also like did one where like he took like uh like a
Nerdrotic.
picture of like all these a picture of all these people's thumbnails. So you had like Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, I think like heel Babyface.
Versus Baby.
Well, yeah, like them saying that. I know is Shang-Chi gonna flop, and he just like put lol,
You
and it was really petty. It's like, dude, they're doing that for clickbait, but
know,
also they're not the only ones that were saying that.
you know what?
The
You know
fucking
what?
the mainstream media was saying that.
I'm gonna argue a little bit on that about the clickbait thing. Like that wasn't really like it isn't really clickbait because that's basically what everyone was saying. The
Yeah.
everyone was saying that. The mainstream media was saying that.
And
Shang-Chi
it was
was
saying, oh, it'll only get 35
yeah,
million.
Shang-Chi was predicted to get a really low box office. Even what is his name? Uh Bob Chapek. Bob
Yeah.
Chapek said that Shang-Chi was an experiment. Like there was no
Yeah.
faith in this movie.
Also saying if it didn't do too well, they would push back Eternals apparently.
Exactly. So I can't even really say that I wouldn't even say that it was clickbait on their part. I mean, that's basically what everyone's saying. Everyone was saying the movie is either going to flop, and they're saying is Shang-Chi going to flop? I
Yeah.
mean, the thumbnails might be like creative or whatever, but like I mean, it was basically what everyone was saying that Shang-Chi was going to flop. So, if he's going to get mad at like random YouTube videos, why not get mad at like mainstream press? Especially the people who basically said, especially the people who predicted the box office to do only 35 million or some ridiculously low number like that. Hell, people didn't even think it would surpass like Black Widow. So
Yeah.
it hasn't even done that yet. It hasn't even surpassed Black Widow yet. So like to get angry at them is just completely ridiculous and hypocritical, because like again, the prediction was 35 to 55 million. This isn't something they pulled out their ass. This is what the mainstream press was saying and has been saying for a while until the movie actually came out and exceeded predictions. Hell, it was only predicted to get 35 fucking million.
Yeah.
And then he wants to get all pissy and shit and say, like, what I say to haters, it's like, the prediction for the box office was 35 million. Why aren't you angry at them? I don't know. Like, to me, the whole thing was just, to me, the whole thing is fucking stupid. Honestly, and I said this to Chris, like, honestly, if I was any of those fucking people, I would use this to my advantage and say, like, and basically say, like, Simu Liu is so insecure that he gets angry at me because I'm quoting what, like, the predictions for the movie was. Like, I would say, look at this. Disney's, like, a big star, a Marvel movie star, is so insecure that he has to come after me personally. That's a compliment. Thank you. Not only that, but that elevates their brand because now they have notoriety. They have notoriety now. Like, people know who they are. People know who I like. So I was like, thanks. People know who I am now. I would use that to my. I would do nothing but use that to my advantage.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, like, sorry about that rant, Chris.
That's alright.
Let me see here. How else we at? Like usual, we are at about an hour. We always do an hour.
Yeah.
I remember you said. I remember the closest we ever. I remember during the Chris Chan stream, like when I told you people were doing it for 2 hours, you were like, "Why? How can you talk about? Why would you want to talk about this subject for more than what did you say, 15 minutes or some shit?"
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you were right. Like, and you know, to be honest, you were right because like the actual Chris Chan shit itself was mostly 15 minutes. It was mostly people like the host didn't know what or who Chris Chan was, and it's mostly people describing who Chris Chan is.
Yeah.
This is like, but then I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, what can you actually say about Chris? What can you actually really say about like Chris Chan? Like she had
Things.
rough playtime.
Love.
Yeah, she played really rough with her mom, like adults do. Yeah, that's it. They God, I sound like I'm 5. Like, anyway, so is that it? You want to talk about anything else, or are we good?
I think I'm good.
All right. So we will see. Thank you for joining us on the Minorities Report again. Once again, everybody. You can probably expect regular weekly episodes, probably, but no promises. Because we have lives, and we may not be able to drop one weekly like always. So...
Yeah. The next one will be about Shang-Chi.
Yes, because we're actually going to watch this movie. We tried to watch it earlier, but, like, the only riffs available were fucking French.
Oui.
Monsieur.
Monsieur Baguette.
Just see Monsieur Baguette.
Monsieur, I surrender.
Well, that's all you need to know of French. Is I surrender in baguette. Alright. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.